and we're going to be touching some of the points that pertain to Humanitech. Those of you who are hanging out, well, most of you are hanging out in Origin Trail community, you're well aware of what's going on there, and we will have a back-to-back session now. First one's going to be a panel discussion with Ari and Joe with a decentralized content network topic, and especially highlighting the top one, which is the anti-1984 approach. So hopefully we don't end up in a bad situation by talking to these two guys who are pretty smart about it, and yeah, we find some good solutions on how to get out of it. We will then be following that with a conversation with Chris, who you've met early on, and yeah, he's left his session on a note. I'll say that. So we will pick it up on the note where he left it off and take it from there. So without further ado, let's kick off our panel discussion with. Can we bring up Joe and Ari? Is that something we're able to do? So we see that they're here and it works. No? Yes? Maybe? I don't see you guys, by the way, nor hear you. So in case you do so with me. Anyways, while we wait for that, so you've had a chance to meet Joe on a previous panel. Joe's a founder and a CEO at LunarCrush. Oh, there you are. And there I am as well. Boom, that's a very much Inception type of a scenario happening. It's good, I like it, you know. It's like that when you're on Zoom call and then you should be looking at everyone else, but you're looking at yourself. That's the thing, yes, that's happening right here now. So yeah, back to you, Joe, as founder and CEO at LunarCrush. Great guy, and those of you who had a chance to meet him last year in Amsterdam will for sure confirm that, and I hope the next year we're gonna have you here with us in person, wherever that may be, again. And we have Ari as well, the CEO at Videntifier. I mean, again, a legend who you might have heard speak also on one of our Origin Trail On Track podcasts before. I didn't give a ton of background for you guys because I would like to invite you guys to make the introduction yourselves. But maybe I will add another just quick question next to it as well, since you're both titans in the data industry, each in your own right. I wanted to ask you if you could, give an introduction, but also share your thoughts on how you feel the whole data convergence with obviously artificial intelligence is happening right now. So what are some of your thoughts that make you feel excited or are worrying you? Maybe we can go with Joe first, and I will go to Ari.
Cool. Thanks again for having me up on screen here. But yeah, Joe Vezzani, CEO, co-founder of LunarCrush. We aggregate data across social media to understand what's happening across hundreds of thousands of topics online every single day. And yeah, I mean, when I think about what excites me right now in the space, I think the productivity change is so incredible, right? Like as a founder of a startup company, I can be, if someone says, hey, adjust this trial agreement, right? And, I need to add all of these things to this legal agreement in order to start doing business with you, right? I used to, have to go to like a lawyer and then wait 7 days to get back a document that had these like adjustments in them. And now while doing something else, I could be, messaging one of these foundational LLMs and get a perfect document, right? You can then proofread it for 10, 15 minutes. And I just, saved $3,000 in 7 days of my life, right? And that's going to compound and that's continuing to happen. That's what excites me right now is just productivity across all these organizations. And that creates a lot more time for creativity. Takes more time for focusing on what's impactful for your customers. So I think that's the most exciting thing. Some of the things that I think are, a little unknown right now. Like I think about, like imagine right now, we were talking in the last session, imagine if, we had 8K video data of like when the pyramids were built, right? And then you can fast forward 2,000, 3,000 years from now, and someone's gonna be able to watch this video very clear and understand what we're all saying, and they're gonna understand what we mean. And I think none of us are prepared for what that future actually looks like and how we look at data and how we are productive and what our impact is. So in one regard, I think we're going to have so much productivity gain that people are going to be able to do other things that make them happy. But in the other regard, it does make me nervous in how fast that's going to happen and the disruptiveness of, that transition to when we're kind of, I would say, full production AI in society. So just some things that I'm thinking about right now.
Gotcha. Thank you, Joe. Ari, could I invite you as well for a quick intro and a couple of thoughts on the exciting or worrying things about AI?
Yes, very happy to do that, and thrilled to be part of the conference. Wish I could have been there in person, but we'll make that happen next time. But very happy to be invited and be able to participate. So showing a little bit of my age, like some of your previous panelists, I actually started working on AI back in the 1990s. I have a PhD from Stanford with emphasis on AI, and then spent 10 years developing AI technology for NASA to help spacecraft operate in various environments and for help humans operate spacecraft. Switched things a little bit and became a university person, spent 15 years at a university, 12 of those as a president. But more interestingly maybe is that a big part of that was to work on innovation and government policy to also help foster innovation and lay the groundwork for developing high tech, including AI-based companies. And during that time, I helped spin out Videntifier, where I'm now the CEO, having been the chairman from the founding of the company, been involved the whole time. And I've also gotten involved in other aspects of tech development, deep tech, and innovation. Among other things, I sit on the board of the NATO Innovation Fund. So a lot of exciting things are happening today, and having seen the development of AI from early 90s until where we are today, the technology that we have seen come to be in the last 10 years is truly amazing. Let's not take anything away from that. It's going to continue changing the world. It hasn't, if we look at the potential impact, we haven't seen anything yet. And we're really going to start seeing things when we go beyond, chatbots and the kind of textual creation, image creation we're seeing today, when we start incorporating this truly into things that we're not doing quite yet, into industries and specializations. That's where we're going to see really amazing things. But if we look at the, one of the warnings that I always give is that if we look at what we talk about artificial intelligence, especially the intelligence side of things, and what we are dreaming about in terms of robots that can do things and helpers that can achieve a bunch of stuff, the technology we have today is not enough. We need more. We need deeper reasoning. We need more decision-making capabilities. We need logic. We need consequences evaluation, statistics, and a whole bunch of other machinery that needs to be pulled in as well. And we are going to see that happen over the next 5, 10, 15 years. But still, with the current technology, we can see amazing things happen. That comes also with certain threats, and we have seen what bots, text creating bots, misleading information, image creation, false information, all kinds of things can do in terms of damage to individuals or to societies. And this is particularly an issue in the environment that we were already in, with very large companies being kind of the holders of a lot of information flow through social media and learned echo chambers and things like that. So what we really need today is to see a transition where we really take the power of AI, the power of data sharing, the power of access of data to data, and the ability to use data in a way that we've never been able to do before, that we make this focused on the individuals, the creators, the companies of all different sizes, especially small and medium ones, institutions and societies, that they can use the power of AI in the way that they want. So that's where we have to head.
Gotcha. Yeah, I gotta agree. So, recap: productivity is gonna be good, and it's a force to improve the society. Whereas the caveats might come to, especially on how we're handling data. And on that point, I think that there's a general kind of idea, maybe even from the morning until today, that I mean until afternoon now, in these conversations, how really next to electricity and compute, data resources are the absolute kind of pillar of unlocking AI revolution. And it's exactly the topic I want to kind of go a little bit deeper with you guys, as I think all of us here in the room as well as online, we should kind of share the principle that Ari was saying, that there shouldn't be necessarily one single ministry of truth or a corporate entity that's gobbling up all the data there is, and that the decentralized approach is actually something that's much more attractive as a future. And this is exactly within the decentralized content network crosshairs that Humanitech is building out. So I would like to slightly pivot towards that, and maybe this time, Ari, we can start with you. Obviously, Videntifier, you guys have been killing it on the front of large-scale visual matching and similarity similarity recognitions between different visual, either image or video material. You're also partners with Humanitech. So I'm really keen to maybe give you a chance to speak to how you feel what breakthroughs become possible when you're combining what Videntifier has been building out so far with the capabilities of this decentralized content network that Humanitech's creating and the Humanitech agent framework. How do you see that playing out?
Oh, absolutely, it's a wonderful partnership. So the key thing in my mind in terms of ensuring that we have a decentralized future, as you mentioned, get out of the 1984 vision of our AI environment, is for there's a personal, there's a localized, there's company or institutions to control what they see, how their data is used, how their images are used, etc. So let them be in the driver's seat of how they use AI, how they contribute in the world that we're building. Videntifier has been developing for a long time technology that allows us to do very accurate visual matching, and that has a number of different applications. It can be used to keep out harmful and illegal content that you don't want to have. It can be used to ensure the rights of those who own copyrights. It can be used to protect the image and the likeness of individuals, their content, their creations, etc., etc. But Videntifier has developed this as a technology, and it's worked really well in structured environments where institutions like social media networks or law enforcement are using this to track information. But in order to bring it to the individuals, in order to bring it to this decentralized, democratic society network that we want to build up, the absolutely right way to get that done was to partner up with Humanitech, because together with the decentralized knowledge network, with the agents and the nodes on that network having the capabilities that they have, having encrypted information to be able to share things securely without risking data going out of your node unless you wanted to, is exactly what needed to be matched with Videntifier's technology to really bring these capabilities to where we want them to be, where individuals and companies can really drive how they share, what they share, how they use, what they see, etc.
Awesome. Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. And there's been a very cool demo of how the two technologies of Videntifier and Humanitech are working together on an event in Iceland, in Reykjavik, which if you're using the social media, and you should follow Humanitech, by the way, you'll be able to find that. So thanks, Ari, for that contribution. I'm switching over to you, Joe. There's a little bit of a piece of announcement to make when I'm switching over to Joe as well, because while Videntifier has been a partner with Humanitech already, I'm very glad to announce that LunarCrush is becoming the newest partner with Humanitech, which is a very, very exciting piece of news, especially, yeah. There you go. I would give you you should have been here. this was a handshake and a photo opportunity that we missed out on, but there you go. Next time. I gotta say, like, I'm very excited with, you know, just the one metric Joe mentioned before with the 50 million posts an hour that of social intelligence that's being brought in LunarCrush. It's incredible, and especially Joe, as a founder and CEO of LunarCrush, is now also joining Humanitech as a head of data strategy, which is a further collaboration that is just going to be, I think, a super powerful combo. So with that as a backdrop, I wanted to kind of pose the similar question to you as well in terms of what do you think becomes possible when we are taking that LunarCrush footprint on data and all the social insight capabilities that you guys have internally, and we match it with the Humanitech decentralized content network and the agents that are being built out. And yeah, please, Joe.
Yeah, what I think is possible is we can use Gen AI to create the handshake, Tomaz, and then no one will know the difference with how accurate it is. Yeah, no, I'm very excited, and thank you for that introduction. I'm excited to be supporting and joining Humanitech to, you know, this is a huge thing that I think about constantly as a young father, you know, with kids that are growing up on the internet and will grow up on the internet, and they're still so young right now, but to think where everything's going to be in 10 years, you know, we have to get out ahead of what's happening. The cool part, I think, and hearing Ari kind of talk about, you know, that perceptual hash that you talk about, where they can kind of look at an image, but not actually have that image. And then, you know, if using Guardian, you know, if you want to see if that image is out somewhere on the internet, how do you know in real time, you know, if that image is being shared or if your name is being said? And how your name is being said, and how do you kind of stave off potentially something negative that happened that was not real, right? In a world where I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of these deep fakes and these videos, you know, some people can't even tell the difference, right? Some people's eyes are trained a little bit more and some people aren't. And you probably already get it shared, you know, in all of your text threads or SMS threads or WhatsApp threads. Someone will say, oh my gosh, did you see this? And you're like, that is AI. How did you, like the you know, the airplane change into a helicopter? How didn't you notice that? And so, but that's going to change very quickly. So how do you, you know, if I upload, you know, my name into the system and an image, how do you know in real time if something's actually being mentioned out there on social media? That's kind of where LunarCrush comes in, and that part of the equation. Where we're out there in real time, you know, pulling millions and millions of posts, looking at those posts, understanding the images in those posts, you know, and then we can send a lot of that information across the Humanitech barrier, which I know Videntifier will also be helping there to understand, was that you, right, that's being talked about? And so our kind of role there is to kind of spider out and crawl the internet at an insanely fast speed to understand if these things are being said, and then you know, we send that quickly back to the system, and then the system will say yes or no on whether or not that is you, and then you guys will kind of create this awesome, I'm sure, workflow through that process. So it's super exciting for us at LunarCrush. You know, we've been aggregating social data for 8 years now. You know, billions and billions of posts and engagements, and I think, you know, just to talk about a use case here that's, you know, potentially has higher societal effects is, you know, if there's some sort of major event that happens out there with whether it's a celebrity or whether it's a politician, right? How do you know that that thing happened, was real? And how do you kind of stop maybe a cascading effect that would happen if society thought that that thing on social media was real? And so we need to have these protections in place, and it's not a surveillance economy. It's more of a protection economy of understanding what's real and what's not. And wouldn't you want to know if you know, a video popped up online of you, or even a comment popped up online from a fake account that somehow, you know, got very similar attributes to yours, said something that maybe you would never have said, right? And now you have this thing spiraling out of control. And what we kind of know from the internet is people will take a quick look at something and they'll assume that that's true, and then they'll just move on. They're not going to come back around to identify whether that quick thing that they thought was true or not. And so how do you kind of navigate that? And that's, you know, I think the big task on all of us right now.
Yep, I think it's such a good point. I love it. It's a protection, not surveillance. And I think the decentralized component of the content network is really what sets it apart. But with the world-class encryption and matching technology, that's at the grade of used by the likes of Interpol, with the incredible capabilities of touching the social insight or signals across the multitude of different social media networks. The Humanitek decentralized content network that's being created, and the secret sauce of the agents that are getting deployed on top is shaping up to be a very, very powerful combination to address some of the big pathologies that you both mentioned, such as deepfakes, misinformation, identity theft, and so on. I'm looking at the clock a little bit. We're kind of running out. So I'll maybe, whilst I would enjoy talking to you more, but I'll maybe give you a chance for a final thought or a final guidance, maybe in the direction of what you feel is the single most important thing to focus on as we go towards this future. And then we'll see if we have time to open it up for questions. Who wants to go first? This time it's a coin toss for me. You guys can choose. Ari, you started. There you go.
I can go. So first of all, thrilled to have it out in the open that LunarCrush is joining us as a partner for Humanitek. I didn't want to say anything about it, but it's kind of the final piece in the puzzle of bringing this all together that we're accomplishing here. So in order for us to get what we want, which is this AI-based internet, plus of course all of the cool doohickeys with drones and Dish doing robots and all of that, but a place where we can be safe, our image is safe, our reputation is safe, without it being a policing state. And that's the balance that we are working to strike here with this three-way partnership. So very happy to see that come together. The world is visual, and there is a lot of information out there. So being able to, in a safe manner, accurately detect and determine whether something is a particular content, and at the same time being able to do that against the large fabric of social media and the information flow that we have in a secure manner where it's controllable, that really is going to be a huge step towards the AI-based internet that we want to have. And it then starts touching on so many other different things. I mean, we've been at Videntifier, we've been working with news media for the last couple of years, and how can we work with them to help decipher what is actually true and what is being fabricated and faked. And I think it also it all comes together in a similar way of using these technologies, which is, we can't ask the user to be going into 2 hours of work to verify whether a video is true or not, or a 15-second video, but we can help them. We can automatically draw sources. We can automatically drive conclusions, and we can use AI to provide the information that they need in such a way that it becomes a healthier, more reliable, and more trustworthy AI-based internet in the future.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ari. Joe, you're up.
Yeah, just to close off, and thanks, Ari, for the kind words, but I think that, social media and, social media addiction in a way is like society's elephant in the room right now, right? Like everyone like out there, I can't see the audience, but I'm sure everyone's got this small thing, ticking in their brain that they want to check their phone, right? And they don't even know why. And even when your phone's in airplane mode, you can still like click around at all the apps and there's nothing there, and you just keep clicking and you're like, what is happening right now? Right. And what Ari just said there about, trying to figure out if something's true and spending a couple hours looking at it, that's a common occurrence in every day. Right. And so I think for me, reshaping the future really means having this kind of verifiable social media that's out there and verifiable information, so that in a glance, in an instant, what you're looking at. Whether you're being entertained is one thing, whether you're searching for news and trying to do research is another thing. But how do we really make it a much safer and better place? But again, not through surveillance and trying to push a narrative. It's just about bubbling to the top the truth about what's happening out there, and then what people are thinking about the different narratives that happen. People can always have their opinions. But we need to protect against, I think the material that's going to be put out there with a goal and an intent of misleading, right? At least identify what you think that universal coordinated behavior is, so that the user can make an educated decision very, very quickly. And hopefully, ultimately, that does mean less time on the internet, less time on social media, and more time for creativity, more time for productivity, and doing the things that you love.